Vigilance. At its peak, Rome possessed one of the most trusted currencies the world had ever known. The Roman denarius was pure silver, trusted across cities, provinces, and continents. It paid the soldiers, fueled trade, and held the empire together. Each coin carried value not because of laws, but because of what it was made of.
As long as the silver remained pure, trust remained unbroken.
But maintaining an empire was expensive, and temptation soon followed.
And with one small decision, Rome began to lie to itself in metal. It didn't begin with collapse, but with a quiet decision made far from the public eye.
Wars were expensive, borders were vast, and Rome needed more money than its silver could provide. So the silver content was reduced, just slightly, barely enough for anyone to notice. The coin looked the same, felt the same, and carried the same imperial face. The people trusted the stamp of Rome, not the substance beneath it. And when nothing went wrong, the lie felt harmless, even successful.
But once a government learns it can fake money without consequence, it never stops.
This was not the end of Rome's honesty, it was the beginning of inflation. At first, prices rose quietly, so slowly that most people blamed bad harvests, not bad money. The same coin now bought less food, less cloth, and less labor than it did before. Officials dismissed the changes as temporary, insisting Rome's economy was as strong as ever. To solve rising costs, Rome minted more coins, without increasing real value. Merchants began testing coins, searching for silver that was no longer guaranteed. People hid older coins and spent the newer ones first, a silent vote of no confidence. Money itself began to split into good and bad, even when stamped by the same empire.
Inflation had entered the empire, quietly, invisibly, and without permission.
And once inflation takes hold, it demands one thing above all, more lies. The first to feel inflation were Rome's soldiers, the saint, men paid in money that no longer held its value. Their wages stayed the same, but their purchasing power quietly vanished.
Discontent spread through the legions, not with battle, but with money. Soon, soldiers demanded higher wages just to survive.
Rome faced a cruel choice: pay the army more or risk losing it. Instead of fixing the economy, the empire chose the easier path: reigned, debased the coins again. Soldiers were paid more in number, but less in value. As trust in money faded, so did discipline, loyalty, and strength.
When an empire can no longer pay its army honestly, its fall has already begun.
What began as whispers among merchants finally reached the streets.
People discovered that not all Roman money was equal anymore.
Soon, goods had two prices, one for real silver and one for everything else. Citizens hid the good money and spent the bad, draining silver from daily life. For the first time, people questioned the value of Rome's promise itself. Inflation turned frustration into anger, and anger into unrest. Rome responded not with honesty, but with force.
Price controls did not stop inflation. They made trade disappear.
When money failed, trust between the state and its people died with it.
Rome still stood, but its foundation was crumbling.
With trust broken and prices rising, Rome turned to the only tool it had left: more money. Each new crisis was met with more debasement, and each debasement fed the next crisis.
The denarius became silver, in name only.
Rome had more money than ever, and less purchasing power than before.
To compensate, the state raised taxes, pushing citizens further into poverty.
Merchants stopped trading, farmers stopped selling, and the economy began to freeze. Money was no longer trusted, only goods had value. Debasement caused inflation, inflation caused unrest, and unrest demanded more debasement. By this point, there was no solution left, only delay.
Rome did not collapse suddenly. It dissolved slowly, one lie at a time.
Rome did not fall in a single night, and no trumpet announced its end.
The empire still had laws, armies, and borders, but it no longer had trust. The story of Rome's fall is written clearly in its money. When money failed, the army weakened, and when the army weakened, the state followed. Empires do not always die in flames. Some simply fade. What destroyed Rome was not unique. It was human.
When governments lie about money, collapse becomes a matter of time.
This is how empires die quietly.
Dark economics, where the history of money explains the future of power.
If you want to understand the future, study the lies of the past.